So this is my 1991 Corvette. It's got an L98. I just picked it up a few months ago off some kid in the Jersey Shore. He had it listed on the Facebook Marketplace for 9 grand. Definitely a little steep, but for stick shift Corvettes with the 6-speed and the L98, it's pretty hard to find these. So I had to at least look at it, and it was definitely a bit of a hoopty. I knew that when I bought it. I didn't truly know what I was getting into, but it was good enough that I had to buy it, and I got them down to 7,500. That's actually what I ended up paying for this. Not too bad. It's got 110,000 miles. So when I went to go buy it, he said it had a little bit of oil leak. It definitely has a lot of bit of oil leak, but he didn't realize that this is all aftermarket, the whole intake system. I asked him one question. He's like, do you guys know if this is aftermarket? He's like, I don't know. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about that, you know, just make sure he doesn't try to raise the price on me too much. So yeah, bought it, went down with my friend who actually does know how to drive a stick, because at the time of buying it, I had no clue how to drive a stick. But yeah, he took it back 100 miles home, no problems at all. Of course, a few days later, I found out that the power door lock switch, even though it's completely inoperable, not working, if you leave it in the unlock position, the interior lights stay on and the battery went to 0 volts. So pretty quickly, I had to get a new battery for it and figure out why it went to 0, and did a few bulbs in it, did a little this and that, and it was ready to stay inspected. Take it to the shop, it's all good, it passes. And as we're trying to roll it out, mechanic's like, yeah, it won't start, you know. I'm like, all right. So we were messing around a little bit with it, and yeah, it turns out the starter is actually cooked in it. So it's got a new starter in it now. Let's just go through some of the mods it's got. So this intake, this is a K&N airbox, I believe, BBK, probably 52 millimeter throttle body, probably ported, polished upper plenum, Edelbrock runners, and base plate on that intake. It's got full rocker rollers. I'm not sure the ratio on them, because it was just like that when I bought it. Again, the kid had no clue any of this was done, so kind of a steal. But yeah, they're doing well. The exhaust, it totally doesn't have gutted cats, and it totally doesn't have a muffler delete, nor that. So yeah, it's pretty loud. It's very loud, and it drones a lot. Some other problems it's got right here. This is the AC line. Yeah, it's just rotted. So this thing has no AC, no heat at the moment, and it's a triple black car. Oh, one of the other problems when I got it, this corner of the roof just wasn't bolted down. It had 3 out of the 4 bolts, so she leaked pretty bad. And yeah, this comes off, but these are all Torx bolts holding it on, and yeah, I don't really want to strip those, so I'm just gonna have to suffer in a triple black car with no AC, heat. So the general theme of this car is that everything's bolted down with 2 or 3 out of the 4 required bolts. I mean, everything just kind of half put together. It's got this somewhat janky push start, and these are the cooling fans. Who knows why? But I'll give it a little start up and rev. See what she's got. Yeah. Yeah, so she sounds nice. There's no doubt in that. Yeah, so my plans for this thing are, you know, it's just a little street car. I want to autocross and drag race it, but it would take absurd amount of money that I don't have to make it anywhere near competitive. So probably once I get some new tires, these are a bit dry rotted, fix the oil leaks, the rear diff leak, and fix this wobbly power steering pump. It's not too bad right now, but it's worse in person. I think then it'll be ready to do some real ripping on her. But she's an absolute beauty. She's got enough problems that you can't really confidently drive it very far, but it drives well enough where you could ignore most of them just driving around town, and it's just an absolute blast to own. So this thing's got some pretty nice option codes actually. Triple black, obviously. It's got these adjustable lumbar sport buckets. They do not work at all. This one, it kind of works with a little persuasion with your hand. That one has no motor in it. That was my fault though. I was messing around with it a little too much. Yeah, so this is a ZO7 package. That's pretty rare. Only about 5% of cars from this year had that. That means it has these adjustable Bilstein stocks, which I do believe were replaced recently and maybe work. I'm not really sure. As the J55 big brake package, it has the stick shift, and the Z51 firmer suspension package is included with the Z07. It's also got an oil cooler and a 105 amp alternator. So it's a pretty well spec'd car. It might also have a tune in it. Who knows? I'll have to look at that a little bit. But yeah, I'll show you some revs of this thing. I mean, this car just has too much cool factor for a 20-year-old. If you could just ignore the drone, the no AC, no heat, you're left with a Corvette with fat tires, a stick shift, a clamshell hood. I mean, what more could you really want out of a car? And for $7,500, these have to be one of the best bargains in the used sports car market right now. So actually, in filming this video, I forgot to flip the cooling fans on. So she's a bit toasty right now, but I don't think I did anything too tragic to her. Just gonna let her sit for a little bit. Oops.